Oh, baby, I will slob on that knob until you come back-to-back 5 rounds.
Will you do both hands
I
simultaneously?
love a good 2 hands in the mouth, but, they got to be able to deliver.
Right.
Deliver!
M.
Oh.
M.
Mom!
Are you a lady like me? Introspective, beautiful. Oh, are you intellectual like me? Beguiled by a bargain? You like wild times? Oh, like me? Are you serving the community like me? Well, if you are, then you must be very Delta.
Today's guest is hot. She blessed our screens on RuPaul's Drag Race Season 14. It's the one and only Kerri Colby.
Hi, how are you, Auntie?
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here. I'm excited to watch this back. This is going to be so fun.
Well, I'm excited that you're here. Everything, the color palette, always impeccable.
Thank you.
You look beautiful. Tell me about this hair right now.
I was inspired by my mother, but the mother I always wanted. My mom's birth mom's name is Pamela Anderson, but she's nothing of the sort. So I feel like I was like, let me reclaim that power and channel, the Pamela Anderson that I wish was my mom. And I'm like, I'm gonna bring it to set. And we always keep it classic here. So I wanted to kind of be, gorgeously antiquified today.
Yeah, this hair, you can totally see the inspiration. I feel like right now that's such a thing. We're all loving a return to a bang or a side bang or fringe or something. And also the movement. You have been doing hair for a long time. I mean, that's been a business for you.
Thank you.
Is that something, when did that start?
I'm self-taught.
Okay.
I've always looked up to amazing drag artists, but also I feel like for me, I always knew I kind of wanted to use hair as a medium to achieve my womanhood one day. And I was raised Pentecostal, so hair's such a big thing. I feel like hair is the makeup of that sector of faith. So I've always just been so obsessed with hair and paid attention to hair. And then I was like, okay, but if I'm wanting to be the hair diva, how can I recreate that on myself? And I think it's just trial and error and a lot of error and more error, but a lot of trial.
Mm-hmm.
And I finally feel like I can just create fantasies. If someone gives me a color palette or I have a thing in my head, my goal is to just imagine it and bring it to life as good as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, do you have a favorite style on yourself or a favorite color?
I've been loving blondes and different tones of blondes. And for me, I love when hair swings. I like to see the weight and the almost horsetail, showman horse of it all, Palomino ponies. So I love a good pressed bust down blonde unit.
If you were to go to go to a strip mall, the kind of strip mall that has a donut shop, a Chinese food.
Yes. Annie's pretzels, because I got to go get my pretzel.
There could be that.
Okay.
There could be a car insurance place.
Oh, that type of mall.
And a beauty supply.
Ooh.
What kind of wigs would you get if it was you have to do a show and you have to get a wig from there?
At the Mall Beauty Supply in Denton, Texas. I literally have a mall that looks just like that to me. Or Vista Ridge Mall.
In where?
Texas. I'm originally from Dallas, but there's a mall in Denton that gives exactly that. No major retailers, all mom and pop, but beauty supply stores.
It's my favorite.
Yes, you can find treasures there.
Mm-hmm.
They be ordering some things on the stock.
Right.
But economically speaking, if this is the type of vibe mall, I'd want to look very, integrated into hello. I'd want to feel very integrated into society, but also stand out. So I'd probably go for a black or a brown and then go for the hair accessories and see what I could build out of it. So it's this is my everyday hair, of course, but with a little something extra.
Okay.
A little bit.
Okay. I always feel like I have to hit that F430 color. You know what I'm talking about? That brown.
That piano.
Yeah. Somewhere in the middle. I feel like it's easiest to, if you don't have the ability to lay the lace down.
Yes.
It's a little more forgiving. If you're able to sort of shatter the sides of it.
It's very feminizing too.
Yeah, it does that.
I feel like you and June have signature colors. She is a 1B30 kind of girl, Miss June
she
Jambalaya.
loves.
1B30, every single unit.
Yeah.
She knows.
And I know that another thing about June is how much she loves fragrance.
Yes.
Which is not far from you. You walked in here, I could smell it.
Oh
but
my
it wasn't
God.
overwhelming. That's
Okay.
the beauty. Is
Thank
it wasn't
you.
overwhelming.
Okay, I was hoping because, I do like to douse myself in fragrance, but I'm like, am I that girl that like suffocates people, or do I try to give an experience?
Mhm.
So thank you for that. I hope it's not too much.
No. Did you
Yes.
always love fragrance?
Yes, I feel like it always goes back to the whole Pentecostal thing. Probably it's trauma, but
Mhm.
I loved learning how to express myself and kind of, for lack of a better term, fluff my peacock feathers
Mhm.
without getting in trouble. So like, fragrance, I could play with that. I could layer a couple things and smell unique and be like, that can be a talking point. Definitely couldn't go put no type of makeup, no type
Sure.
of manicuring. So I've always learned how to fall in love with like the little details.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Pentecostal women are definitely known for the grace of their hair.
Yes.
The beauty of
They've
their hair,
got some
right?
manes on them.
Yeah.
They do.
And they're not afraid of hairspray.
No,
And
they love a
teasing.
good hairspray.
Yeah.
I feel like they run into sections with drag queens all the time with the beauty supply items they be getting.
Right. What part of the Bible says use hairspray? I mean, you think that there's part of it?
I feel like if anything, using hairspray would go more along the lines of being sinful because it's got the chemicals and stuff. That's
Right.
not natural. But, everyone makes their rules for
And it
themselves.
seems like it would be laying there with vanity as well.
That's the interesting thing. I feel like the Pentecostal ladies I knew growing up were some of the most vain people, but they loved playing like vain, passive-aggressive Olympics. Like,
Mhm.
I don't have any makeup on, but it looks like you got a tan. Were you laying out in Jesus' name?
Right.
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 Uh-huh.
Would you wear a Pentecostal look for a show?
Maybe. I feel like I could reclaim it. I got like a 65, 70-inch blonde unit. I could do it.
You could.
I might reclaim that
Yeah,
time.
You absolutely could.
Yes.
Slaycation.
Yes.
Should I go axe throwing?
You should. I
Yeah?
recommend every feminine creature learns how to throw an axe because
Okay.
you never know when you're going to have to use it out here in the woods.
Right.
You never
Right.
know.
Have you done it since?
I want to do it for, that might be terrible, but I kind of want to do it for a date.
Oh, okay.
That way, like, I can set the tone of like, let's go axe throwing. Yeah, okay, boom. Don't mess with me. Like, I will kill you. Like,
Right.
I kind of want to do that, but that might be too much.
Well, what are some other options? You could go to a shooting range.
We could do that, but I feel like if my partner wants to go to a shooting range, then I'm gonna need to reassess that relationship.
Really?
But if I suggested it, maybe. I don't know if that makes any sense, but
Well,
like,
I think so. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
did you do much shooting in Texas as a kid?
a little bit, because where I grew up, there was so many ranches and they'd go deer hunting. I tried deer meat like very early, so
What does that taste like?
gamey,
Mhm.
gamey, but interesting. Like I feel like I get very bored of. I'm such a Leo. I sound like a complete lion talking right now. I get so bored of meat.
Uh-huh.
So like chicken tastes like chicken over and over again, no matter how you season it. Beef tastes like beef, and I think what I loved is that venison was just so different, and you
Mhm.
can tell it's more full of like nutrients and proteins. It's like it tastes wild. I don't know how to explain
Okay.
that. So I like it, but I feel like a lot of people probably would hate it.
Do you have like a certain, like a favorite food?
I love like savory with a touch of sweet.
Would you do a sweet potato?
They're delicious. Sweet potato, candied yams for the holidays
Oh,
was
my
like
favorite.
that was my guilty pleasure.
Yeah, I could
My
just
guilty
eat that.
pleasure.
I like yam and sweet potato like together.
Ooh.
Sometimes I don't even notice the difference if it's all together.
I love it just all blended. Throw some marshmallows, glaze it with some butter, throw some nuts on top,
Mhm.
roast it.
Ooh, throwing nuts.
I like to throw some nuts.
Yeah, throwing when you're throwing axes.
I like throwing things.
Throwing axes at nuts.
Yes. You're well, trees, but kind of the same thing. You're just going and breaking the wood.
Right. Oh, wood.
Well, yeah,
Nuts,
because
wood. Where are we going already?
I don't
it's-
know. I tend to travel. I astral project. Are you ready?
Listen, I will start somewhere and then I feel like I have a distinct stopping point. I never get there.
Oh, Roger, I'll be right there with you.
Yeah,
Like,
never.
just live long and prosper. I will travel with you. I promise to God.
I appreciate it. I need somebody that will. But tell me about Slaycation. Tell me about what happened.
Yes. Oh my God. So cold, wintry. These are not adjectives, nouns, verbs, whatever. I don't know all that stuff, but these are not words I would use to describe.
We're not mathematicians here.
No. Yeah, girl math, but not that. I would not use those words to describe things I like. I don't usually like being cold or in winter, but somehow it was one of the most fun things I've ever done. It was so fabulous to be in such a different universe with sisters. It was a lot of fun.
I like
You
that.
should do it sometime.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Where would you select for if you were doing Slaycation again?
Again, I'm a summer diva. I like
Yeah.
warmth. So I would say like let's go to like Tulum if we want to like do a lot of activities, or if we want to like go more like boys and kind of like gay pride and live our best life, we could do like like maybe Puerto Rico or like Puerto Vallarta. I would definitely aim warmer. And then if I were in charge of Slaycation and we wanted to keep renewing seasons, make it like a Globetrotter series. Show where queer people can go vacation, live their best life, be active, be drunk, be merry, be flirting with everyone that walks by, and like make that fun, but it also kind of creates this like its own economy in a way. I think that would be what I would do.
I think this makes so much sense with you specifically at the helm of that kind of show. I don't think we see it. I think it makes so much sense because even with the opportunity to meet a lot of people or chit chat with a lot of people, I feel like this is one of the first conversations where someone's talked about how you actively enjoy the warm weather and you actively mention activity.
Yes.
And that's what people want to do on vacation. I mean, I personally, as just a lazy person, sit around, do nothing, but I never go on designated vacations. So it'd be nice to go, you know what, I'm going to plan one.
Yeah.
And I'm going to listen to Kerri, who would say, all right, I know who you are. I know what kind of things would be at your level, what you would enjoy.
Right. Like, because I love leisure as well. I don't really like to sweat, even though I like the heat. And I feel like that's an art form that I've mastered. So I'd love to share that. Like, let's do a pontoon with like grapes and naked men and music, live music, and give us a breeze. Let's do a little photo shoot because we got to get our photos. And then after that, we could do like, an inner tubing or like a not a rock climbing, but like a on an open area, getting on one of those like swings that like slide through. But it would I wouldn't want trees nearby because like minimize the danger, maximize the enjoyment.
I love your art form.
Oh, thank you.
Enjoying the heat
without sweating. Because why would you do that?
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that.
I want to know more about that when we come back. Let's take a break. Those are gorgeous feet. Ooh, so pretty. No athlete's foot here. Your feet are very Delta. We are back with Kerri Colby. We were talking about this your art, which I think is your superpower.
Thank you. Ooh, thank you.
I so see you hosting a show where you globetrot and you tell people, because we always hear we know a lot of friends who go to Thailand.
Right.
And they say, oh, you would love it. It's because it's this, this, and this. And then they stop. But I want to see someone go there.
Right.
And say,
almost like take you with me.
Yes. This is what's happening. These are the things you can do on several budgets.
Yes. And I love to see range. I feel like, we talked about Ross before. Like, I'm a range diva. I come from humble beginnings, but I'll suck dick in a palace. So I like a good range of everything from like, the Ritz-Carlton Four Seasons all the way down to like local activities. What do the locals do when they want to go have fun?
Right.
Because they do it.
Right.
Right.
I mean, you're a very open person when it comes to all of the people, all of the things that you've done in your life. So why wouldn't you, if offered the opportunity, share that?
I'd love to.
That's your ability. You can assimilate in so many situations.
Ooh, period.
A lot of people
Clock it.
can't. A lot of people can't.
Aw.
And that, like you say, coming from humble beginnings, it is that for many of us that come from a place of not a lot, but wanting a lot more.
Yeah.
We learn how to read the room and
Yes.
understand, how do I fit in this room?
Mask and
How
mirror.
have you done that? How did you do that?
Well, for me, I think I've always had to mask and mirror. There's so many layers to it. The easiest way to describe it would probably be like I'm autistic ADHD, so I have like a very hyperactive sense of self. But then I don't process things. I feel like normally it takes me a lot longer to like kind of run myself through things and assimilate. And I have to do that before I can like participate in something.
Mm-hmm.
So I tend to be like uncomfortable at first. And while I'm doing that, that's where I'm like trialing and erroring. And then I'm like, okay, so if I approach it this way, I'll most likely have this outcome. And that'll keep me from having like a crippling anxiety attack.
Okay.
So that's kind of like how I feel like I've learned to do situations. I mask, I mirror, I mask, I mirror.
But that again, that really does come from a life of necessity.
Yes.
Right. And the fact that you're a model. I mean, I always, this is what I always say to people, like whenever I'm doing something, I jokingly say, I'll just model through it. We'll just model through it.
But that's a real thing.
But it's a real thing.
Yes, it is.
It is.
You almost think of like the role model of the moment, and then you become that, and you're literally modeling in real time.
Right.
And you set that precedent, especially as like, you know, notorious divas that we are. You set that precedent of like, oh, that's how she handles it. That's how a woman handles it. That's how a very Delta type of girl will do it, or a Kerri Colby type bitch will do it. Like you just decorum, class.
Right.
Glasses.
Glasses.
Glasses
exactly.
for the drinks. I love it.
Well, you know, this obviously this show is We Fry the Small Fish, as you know, which for anyone out there that doesn't know, essentially means we know there's bigger problems in the world, but there are things that just get on our nerves and we have to get them off of our chest. Is there anything, is there any small fish you want to fry, even if it's just a tiny instance?
You know, the fish of passive aggressiveness.
Okay.
I don't like that fish. I be
Okay.
having to cook it often. I feel like for me, like and now I'm like a very bold, loud person. And listen, I love being told to my face, like I told somewhere online, I was like, I think I have an offense kink. Like I love abrasion and like be upfront. Like you could be like, Kerri, you are bombing this interview. It's so terrible. Would you just shut the up? And I'd be like, you know what? Yeah, I could. I need to take a breath. So thank you. I'm very that. So I think one of my fish that I like to fry is like people who love to like try to have those type of opinions, but they never express it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I can't stand it.
Yeah.
It makes me want to like cause like the end of the world.
A scene.
I want to create Armageddon when that happens, like fully. I start talking to Lilith and then like Satan right here. And I'm like, what should we do? Yeah, we should f it up.
Yeah. You meet somewhere in the middle.
We do. We usually meet in the middle of like just survive through it and spiral later. But you know, sometimes I pop.
And that's okay. Sometimes you have to pop off.
You gotta pop your.
But I know that many of us deal with things and move through life with music.
Yes.
You are DJing. You are a DJ.
Thank you.
Is that a passion?
It is. I think even going back to what you were talking about later, how have I learned to navigate daily life and rooms and moods and vibes? Music has helped me a lot with that. I get to kind of set the tone of rooms, and then you get that real-time feedback of like, yeah, bitch, you're killing it. I'm grooving. I've never heard this song before. It's making me shake a little. And like when you see that real-time engagement, you're like, oh, let's keep sharing this space. Let's go for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. And it's not even like work. It's almost like therapy for me. So I really do love DJing. It's something that has healed me, and I didn't know I needed to be healed like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no idea how to operate DJ equipment, but I consider myself the DJ in the shower.
Okay, period.
Right? Or the DJ in my drag room when I'm getting ready.
Yes.
And I have this weird, crazy thing in my head where the playlist is super specific.
Ooh,
right?
okay.
So like, for instance, there is a playlist that I created, and it was based on a conspiracy theory about a woman who was found murdered in a hotel in the 90s. And it was a case that always floated around in my brain. But back in the day, before we had social media, it was like only like unsolved mysteries or shows like that.
I was going to say, it probably never got solved, did it?
No, and it's still to this day, there's only like a drawing of her and it's a conspiracy. So I was like, these songs are the story in my mind of what she went through and who was looking for her.
Ooh.
And then I realized, wait a minute, you also like conspiracy theories.
I Listen, here's
This
how
car ride is going like this.
it's going like
Okay,
this.
it
We're
is.
doing a loop-de-loop, girl. We're doing a
But it's
loop-de-loop.
connecting.
We love a good loop-de-loop.
Right.
Here's my thing, because I think I love conspiracy theories too much. I had to get off Twitter.
Okay.
And it's okay because my mental health is much better after that. But if you're not a conspiracy theorist to some degree in 2025,
Right.
and you're just believing everything you've ever been told ever, like, that's crazy to me.
Right.
I'd rather be crazy and a conspiracy theorist and just, it's not about believing it. It's about asking what if and like, that challenges what I've been told. But I mean, so does my identity.
I mean, there are so many, there's so many theories. Is there any that like come to mind that people still battle about? They battle about all of them.
There's
My
so
God.
many. I mean, here, I'll throw it back to like a weird one.
Okay.
Because I go from like the Anunnaki, Book of Enoch, and we can go all the way to like, Project 2025 and what's going on. I have a very wide range. But one of my favorite ones is like, what is going on? And was there ever, do you feel like there was an Atlantis?
Okay. I like this one.
Like, and it's not,
Right.
none of us are alive in the right realm to go dive in the ocean and go, oh, I'm just going to go dive there. Yeah, honey, I'm going to go find out. Like, we don't really have, I feel like, the depth and capacity to even have access to an Atlantis if it is real. But what if? What happened?
Right.
And there's so many theories with that. And I feel like even if they are myth and legend, they're like warning signals of kind of where we are as a society today.
Right.
Because everyone says Atlantis went away because the greed, and they started raging wars between each other, trying to inflate and build economies. And ultimately, it completely wiped them out. And now they're
Right.
in hiding. Now they're dolphins.
Now they're dolphins.
And it's illegal to talk to them.
I mean, I just saw one the other day that, once you look at something on TikTok for longer than a few seconds, all of a sudden all your videos are that, right?
Yeah. The algorithm will learn, girl.
It will. The one I saw recently that I still don't know where it's sort of based or whatever is that the rich and elite are eating mermaids.
I had seen that, and I just feel like that is a little bit much.
Mhm.
That's a little. Now, again, I do love making money, but I'm definitely no elite nor rich. So I'm not in any parties where they're eating mermaids.
Right.
I've had a little bit of caviar,
Uh-huh.
and sometimes I wonder where that came from.
Right.
But that's about top of my level. So I don't know. I feel like we still haven't confirmed if there are or aren't mermaids, and now
I want to think there are.
now
I wanna
millionaires are
believe
eating
it.
it. But why would they be eating them?
Right.
I don't want to eat Ariel. Maybe eat her out.
Oh,
Maybe.
maybe.
I allow myself to ask what if.
Mm-hmm. Mhm.
I don't think I have an answer on that, but I don't think I'd eat her.
No, not like dying.
No.
Not in that
No,
sense.
not dying in or out on
Right.
Ariel. Yeah, maybe Ursula,
Oh.
because octopus is
She
good.
likes to get ate.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
She
She
will
be cutting
make
tentacles off and putting them in people's mouth. Eat
Yeah.
it.
She will
I
make
like
you.
that.
Do you
I
think the
like that.
tentacles just grow back?
Yes.
They do.
She's a witch, so she can
Right.
absolutely regenerate that.
Right.
She took away Ariana.
Her voice too.
She took away Ariana's voice. She took away Ariel. She took away Ariel's tail and gave her legs. So I feel like if she's able to do all that, she could
Right.
absolutely regenerate a tentacle
I
or
think
20.
that's true. Do you think there's tunnels underneath Los Angeles that people the elites are running around under? That's what they say.
I don't feel like I have an answer to part 2 of that
Okay.
question. I don't know, because again, I'm not running with the elites like that, so I don't know if they're running in the tunnels, but I do know that all cities do have internal infrastructure
Sure.
specifically for government officials should there be a world-ending moment where they're able to
Mhm.
get out and get where they need to be quickly and ultimately off to Greenland. So
Mhm.
that is true. Like that's absolutely, my father was military, and he worked in the military police for like 10 years. So
Oh, wow.
he didn't tell me everything. He would more beat his opinions into me, but he did share a few little things here and there, and that was I always would be like, that's interesting.
Your father was military police.
Yeah.
Would you be a spy for an agency?
I've always wanted to.
Yeah.
I love the idea of being a Bond girl, but also Bond.
Yes.
Like I love that. Just on the go, 24/7, changing identity, changing looks, solving
Mhm.
world mysteries, and almost being like forever anonymous, but forever stunning about it.
Right.
I would love to, I'd love to act that in a movie at the very least, but I would love that in reality.
Mhm.
That'd be fun.
Wait, do you have siblings?
I do.
What was your experience?
I was always the very weird kid that
Mhm.
I was mostly friends with just the girls. My brothers, I didn't really grow up with them, but they'd come over every now and then. They'd kind of tease me and be like, that one's weird.
Mhm.
But like when I'd play with like my girlfriends and we'd play with like toys and Barbies and stuff, I'd be like, let's recreate our reality and let's build a city out of scratch. But you need
Oh,
to,
wow.
but you need to generate an economy. So what's the job that you're going to do as Chloe, Yasmin, Sasha? Build it, make it a thing. And that would be how I'd play with like my girlfriends when I was like 5.
The reason I ask about that is because as a kid, I was always like, I want to be a spy. I want to travel and solve crimes.
fun.
So I think about like what
Yes.
were the similarities? And even though you did have siblings, again, you use that word like the weird one or
Yeah.
the special one.
I
And
was the
so
other.
we knew when we were young that like there was just something different. So this idea of building economies
Yeah.
or traveling the world, it's a thing.
It
is a
is.
thing.
Well, I feel like when you don't have the same shared experience or reality of everyone around you and you have time to yourself, you just start to wonder and think and build and create. You can't help it. The human brain is a very unlimited source.
Right.
So the more time you have to tap into it, the more, I feel like I was astral projecting on accident at like 8 years old,
Wow.
but that was like, what else was I going to do?
Right. Right. That makes sense.
I
That
didn't want
makes
to be in
complete
church,
sense.
Chad. I didn't want to have them people telling me what to do.
What was the like your first experience with like the queer community in general in Texas?
Ooh, okay. Let me see. I have to like run down memory lane. I always had a very interesting journey with queerness growing up.
Mhm.
It was always assumed that I was very much gay, different, something's off.
Mhm.
But I was like so endearing and I was literally an innocent child. So like people didn't fully be like, you're gay, you're wrong, you're going to hell. But they would very much like, oh, we love you. You're just so fun and expressive. And then they'd like go to my mom and be like, that one,
Right.
figure that out before
Right.
they turn 10, 12, 13, 14, because we're going to have a problem. And of course, I did become the church's biggest problem, but not because I did anything wrong. I always would ask questions and I was always very curious. And I remember I used to get so punished for it because my mom knew that there was like a curiosity there. So she tried to like,
Mm.
punish it out before it becomes a problem. And that didn't work. I feel like I've always been so curious and I've always wanted to know more. And I was never scared of different or unique people. I was never frightened or intimidated. I was almost like Oprah. Like I was like obsessed. You're different. I want to know more. What is this?
Mhm.
Where do you come from? Where do you go home? Who are your friends? What do you like? What have you listened to? This is what I do. I'm over here watching Veggie Tales and Bible stories. I don't really have a TV. Is that what it's like at your home? Is that what it's like for you?
Wow. Mhm.
And I almost feel like I realized I was so othered at such an early age that I was like, I'm not going to let this be a disadvantage, but I'm actually going to make it an advantage. If I'm other, I'm going to find out what everything else that isn't other is.
Wow.
And I remember very clearly, like I got kicked out at 15. And I feel like most people would be like really devastated by that. I was, to be honest with y'all, like relieved. I was like, oh, thank God I'm out. Thank
Wow.
God I'm out. Now I have the ability to just go and explore. And I went straight to the gay community. Oakland, hello.
Wow.
I went straight there. And right when that was happening, season 5 of RuPaul's Drag Race was premiering. I just was like, what is going on? This
Right.
is fantastic. This is so beautiful. It's very artistic. And I started going back in time and like watching the other seasons on Logo and just like really, I feel like once I got kicked out, I like deep dived. I wanted to be drowned in queer exposure because I feel like I finally found my family,
Yeah.
even though I lost my family, if that makes any sense.
Oh my gosh, it makes complete sense.
Yeah.
It makes complete sense.
Oh my gosh.
Also, season 5, kind of the perfect season to land on. I mean,
It's an iconic season.
I might say my favorite season.
Really?
Yeah, at least from the old school seasons.
I feel that. I always described it when I first went on tour with Detox because I'm obsessed with y'all. Like I feel like the pillars of Drag Race, the pillars of queer entertainment are like season 8 and prior. I feel like those are just pillars. And I remember I told Detox when I first met her, I was like, y'all's season to me from watching it was like the first All Stars.
Yes. That makes sense.
It was like the first idea of an All Stars for Drag Race, because they were all like, I already had seen like Detox and Rihanna's music video, and
Right.
I was like, oh, I know that face. I know this girl. Oh my gosh. And then Alyssa, that is the most Texas Grand Dame queen I've ever seen in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, and she's here. She's in the city. This woman, this grand diva. And I got lost.
It was definitely a season where you like every character, you're like, I love that character. And even the ones that you maybe were not connected to, you were like, I love you. I can't hate you. I can't.
Right. I'm rooting for you regardless.
Right.
I have my favorite, but I'm rooting for you. And anyone, for a lot of those episodes, anyone could have won.
Yes.
You really didn't know. Week to week, it was a gag what would happen.
Yeah.
A complete gag.
Yeah. I love that. I will always be a Drag Race fanatic. I love watching it. You know what I mean?
It's become a really, really important part of history and storytelling and queer culture.
Yeah.
Like, I have to pinch myself all the time that I'm even a part of it, because like Drag Race saved me, Drag Race raised me, and Drag Race gave me an avenue to finally, for once, feel like I'm not some evil, hated, despised, like vermin of the earth, but I'm actually a beautiful, unique creator.
Mm-hmm.
And I have all of y'all to like draw inspiration and learn more about the world around me through. I love Drag Race, and I love what it does for the community.
And it's a beautiful thing to each person resonates with someone else differently, right? So people watch you and they say like, she reminds me of me. I see something. And it could be physically, it could be not even physically. It could be the way you speak or the words you said or the reference you made. It pulls people in and it lets them know they're not alone.
It does. It's like a magnet almost. Like it pulls you in, and I feel like we're able to find our tribes, our people.
Yeah.
And then those people are able to find their people. We're community makers.
For sure.
We are, and we're all a part of one big community.
Right.
It's done.
I love that.
Yeah.
Let's take a break. We are back with Kerri Colby. This is the part of the show we call Read Me Delta.
Ooh.
People send in their letters with questions or looking for advice.
Okay, period.
And if you do have a letter you want to send in, send it to readmedelta@gmail.com. We will get your letter. We will decide when and where they need to be answered. Read Me Delta! All right, let's see where the first letter is coming in from.
What a beautiful envelope.
Hi, Delta and special guest.
Ooh.
I wanted to share that me and my friends listen to you every week on our hot girl walks, and we're obsessed. During one of your Halloween episodes, you were going off about your Lily Munster wigs, and in disgust, you said, Manila for Halloween? No. Jokingly, of course. This has become part of our daily vocabulary. Any inconvenience, annoyance, or something that is just so obviously wrong, we say to each other, Manila for Halloween? No. Do you and your guest have any phrases that you say that you've picked up from a show or something of the sort? Thank you for doing what you do. Sincerely, very Rise or maybe Reese. I knew a guy that spelled his name R-H-Y-S, and he
R-H-Y.
He liked to be Rise.
Rise.
But I know people that say
Well,
Reese.
he probably like to rise up.
Right.
Right. We love that.
Do you have any phrases that you say that maybe don't necessarily fit the situation, but they're an inside joke?
One of my favorite things to say, I feel like I have multiple mothers, obviously, hi, Sasha Colby, you're always mother number one. But Mariah Carey is like one of my mothers, and she got really messed up at a party one time, gone. But she always stays very conscious, like front of mind. So they told her to give like a speech, I think it was for like New Year's, hair messed up, makeup messed up.
Oh, I already know where you're going with this.
And she goes,
oh, do it, please.
I'm gonna do the best I can with what I got.
It's my favorite. I cannot believe
That's my favorite
that you
thing.
said that. I've
It's
never
my
known anyone else to
favorite.
reference it. It's the best.
I'm going to do the best I can with what I got.
Yes.
Because that's a very true statement.
Yes.
You know, because if you got a lot, I'm going to do the best with it. If
Right.
I ain't got
I'm gonna do what I
listen,
can.
I'm still doing the best I can with what
Right.
I've got. I'm not even in control of that.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that so much. I think one that, I mean, a lot of these are like inside jokes that
Yeah.
aren't necessarily from a place I can remember, but one that I definitely always remember, and it's pretty current, is the Aretha Franklin interview. And I think you know where I'm
I
going
feel
with
like I know
this.
where we're going.
When someone does something or says something and it's just a little bit like a lot more grand than they really are. And you just say, like, somebody will say, "Oh my God, what did you think of the recipe?" And I'll say, "Beautiful gowns. What did you think of that performance?"
Gowns, beautiful gowns.
Beautiful gowns.
Beautiful gowns.
And it's your only way of saying, like, I'm going to walk out of this. Although
Right.
she did walk out of it even more severely when
They asked
the
about
interview.
Nikki.
And she said, "Oh,
Nah,
I'm going to
not
leave
gonna
that alone."
I'm not going to answer that one.
But she gave Taylor Swift, well, gowns.
And I feel like at the time, this was, you know, Taylor was a little newer.
Right.
That was what, at least Aretha knew her name. That's a diva.
Right.
You know, we can't get Mother RuPaul to remember any of ours, but
Right.
Aretha remembered Taylor Swift in the beginning of her career.
And she said, I know that you look good in a dress.
Right.
I know that much.
Pleasant to look at.
Right.
That's about it.
Yeah, that's what I know at this point. Yeah, I
People
think,
love to read me with that one, but I don't mind.
do they say that about you?
Because there's like the Kerri Colby Club, which I feel like they're my biggest
Wait,
fans.
what?
Yeah. They be out there.
No.
There's a few of them, but I don't mind. Bring
But
it.
what have you done to make people dislike you?
I feel like people feel like I'm so tapped into my grandeur that it pisses them off. I'm so transed out in my fantasy that like it rubs them the wrong way, and that like that's a them thing. But
yeah, I mean, how can somebody be too trans? How can you be too?
I'm like too glamorous and invested into my fantasy, and I understand that. Like maybe there's people out there that I don't really let people affect me that much, but
Mhm.
like I could see how like someone's personality could be a lot, and I'd be like, oh, okay, you know, not for me. But people love to like feel that way, and then bring their sarcastic aura from feeling that way to my like page, and they'll comment the beautiful gowns all the
Oh,
time.
wow.
But I'm like, give it to me, yes, bitch.
Yeah, they are beautiful gowns. You're
They
right.
are,
You're
yes,
right.
very beautiful.
Right. And if that's all you want to stop at and understand, go for it. Go for it.
Baby, thank you for the engagement.
Because you know what that is? Ignorance.
Ignorance.
You could learn more, but you don't want to.
No.
Nobody, this is the thing, and you know this is so true.
Yes.
People hate anyone who is too proud or too free. Because if they
Yeah.
don't have it in themselves or they don't see it for themselves, they have to hate it in somebody else so nobody comes to them and goes, well, what about you? Where are your beautiful gowns?
Right.
You know?
It reminds them of everything usually that they're not.
Right.
And that can be very debilitating.
It
So
can.
instead of being debilitated, they take a lash out to feel like they're
Mhm.
at least getting even.
Yes.
I feel that.
It's like you can have it though. We're not saying you can't have it. Join
It's
us.
yours. Take it, baby. Come
Join us and
Sit
have
right
it.
here. There's room.
Yeah, have it.
Yeah, you-
Totally.
Baby, I'll share my beautiful gown with you.
How about that? How about that? You know what's one that I do say all the time is there was an episode, a legendary episode of the TV show Cops, where this girl was getting arrested, and her name, we later came to find out her name's Stephanie Yellowhair, and she was getting arrested, and the way she was speaking to the police became this like memeable, viral, whatever.
I'm trying to think if I know who she is.
This was some of her verbiage. Please release me.
Yes, I'm
I'll be a boy for
sorry.
you. And she would go, oh, sick. When people would
Sick.
say, like, anytime, and the
I
cops,
think they asked if she was doing the Pookie pipe, but she's like, ooh, sick.
and she goes, they said, why were you called or something? And she goes, I was doing her eyebrows, and then she was doing my eyebrows. And the thing is, rest in peace, Stephanie Yellowhair, who did pass.
She did pass away.
But a lot of people like will comment negative things when they see that. But I'm like, she was sickening. She was fierce.
Baby, that was personality that most of you
Yes.
could never have or relate to.
Yes.
I loved her. I loved
That's
her.
gorgeousness.
Her aura.
Mhm.
It was a very strong aura.
It was very strong. Or she was gorgeousness. It was like,
Yeah.
It was rad. So I say that all the time. And people will say, like, oh my gosh, ooh, sick, like Delta. And I always say, thank you so much. But that's actually Stephanie Yellowhair who did that. Like, I want people
giving credit.
it needs to be documented. Like any sort of LGBTQIA plus moments have to be documented, assigned. We have to know. We have to remember.
Well,
all
and
of
especially
this.
if they're not here to represent themselves any longer.
Right.
Absolutely.
She was a proud Native trans woman, and it needs to be known.
Release me, please.
Right. I don't mind being the messenger, so if you hear me say it, believe me, I am celebrating her all day long. But I'm constantly like, oh, sick.
I love that. One of mine is
silly.
MJ Rodriguez. I don't know if I could hit it right now, but the deliver.
Yes.
Deliver. I love that. I love that.
A lot of people do anytime they're doing their outfit of the day or whatever, they'll do get the shoes, baby. Get the shoes.
Yes.
We know where that came from.
Yes, we do. We do.
Okay. Dear Delta and gorgeous guest, I'm a 26-year-old gay man and I've never had sex before.
Oh.
For the past 8 years, I've been wanting to get into a relationship before doing anything sexual, but I've not been successful. At the same time, I have this feeling that I'm going to waste my youth. I see hot gays in their early 20s going out and having sex, and I can't help but feel envious. Another part of me feels like I've waited so long already, so what's a few more years? Thoughts? Forever your fan, very virgin. Do you think
Very virgin.
What are your thoughts on this person? I didn't necessarily say they were asking for advice, but I'll give advice. But they said, what are your thoughts on somebody? Should they wait? They've already waited this long.
Right. That's so interesting. I mean, sex is always a complicated topic. I feel like it gets even more nuanced when it becomes queer sex, right? But if you have a reason in yourself that you're wanting to wait and that's something that you feel connected to, hold true to that as long as you feel like that's for you. But also you have the ability to, it's like a switch. It's like you're in control of that part of your life. So my thing is, if the right opportunity comes, you feel good about it and like this is something I want it. I want it bad. I know I want it. I'm aware, conscious, and I'm making the decision that I want it this right here, right now. I want to have memories about this. I want it. Go for it. Give yourself permission. But, if something in you is like, I really would rather not, like, I'm that way with anal sex. I'm a side for the most part. Like, I have to be very, very connected or like in a relationship with somebody to open up and allow people in or to want to enter people in such a sacred way. I feel like that's a very, very sacred thing to do. You don't just do that with anyone on the street. I don't care how fine they are.
Oh, you don't?
I don't.
You don't?
I don't. Yeah. I sometimes I wish, but like that's my thing. And I'm like, oh, baby, I will slob on that knob until you come back to back 5 rounds. Like I can still be nasty and freaky with it.
Will you do both hands
I love a good
simultaneously?
I love a good 2 hands in the mouth, but they got to be able to deliver enough meat.
Deliver and then
Oh, deliver.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like that's my thing. I don't really do the anal because I save that for a very intimate, very like soulmate. I want to enter and be entered by a soulmate.
What about a whole mate?
I haven't found one yet. I haven't. I'm not necessarily opposed if the right whole mate were to find me. Then I might find them.
That makes sense.
So do it if you want.
Advice. Yeah, that's good advice.
Yeah, but always feel good about it. Like, I'm not telling you go and be a hoe in the streets and then be like, Kerri told me and I feel like, make sure you want it. It's got to be something you think about, especially if you've taken this much time and you've waited for this long. If you make the decision that you want it and it's going to be something you'll look back on and ideally not regret, do it. Go for it. You only live once. I love some of my sexual fantasies and memories where I was a little scared or shy, but I just gave myself permission and I learned. I around and I found out.
Yeah.
I did, but not all the time.
Yeah, no, that makes complete sense. I think you hit on something super important, which is relationships in general, but then queer relationships are very nuanced. They are. Yeah. There are people that they only want to have one night stands. They don't even care. Like
that's their thing.
Yeah. And then there's people that are in situations where like you are yourself very virgin, where you have waited this long. Yeah. It's important to you. And if it's important to you, do that. But you, like you said, it sort of ebbs and flows, and it can be different ways.
Yes.
You can still have these experiences if you want to, and not feel guilt for them.
Yeah.
Because just as you said, maybe there's a part that you want to keep sacred, or that you just want to sort of put your toe in the water. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can do that. You can do that and not feel guilt. And as you go through life, I mean, I feel like your 20s are really a time to design the life that you want to live. So you need to try out different jobs, try out go different schools. What are your hobbies? What makes you tick? Who are you?
Who are you is great.
Because when you get to your 30s, you sort of, I'm not going to say you settle down. By no means should you ever settle down.
You become more familiar, I feel.
Yeah, you
I'm
set
like
your boundaries.
waiting for that. I feel I'm an old soul, so I'm like, bitch, I want to be 30 so bad. I want to be 40.
Yeah.
I want to be 50 and 60. I can't wait.
Yeah, you start to learn, I think, at a certain point, what makes you tick and what your boundaries are. It's if you want to wait. I say, I love in life following your heart, but taking your head with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to say to yourself, like, I want to do this, but I don't want to be in a dangerous situation.
Mm-hmm.
I think I can trust this person, at least in as much to have this moment. See, I love talking to you because you know my thoughts as I'm going. How do you know this?
I don't know. I'm a little intuitive.
but it is that. It really is that. It's okay. Like, even though you've waited the 8 years, if you feel like, just as Kerri said, no, I need this. I'm waiting for this, and this is the moment.
Mm-hmm.
This is the moment. Then let it be the moment.
Yeah.
And don't feel like, oh, I fell off some sort of wagon or whatever.
Right. Because the wagon doesn't exist.
It doesn't.
You made the wagon in your mind and you're sticking to it.
Yes.
And that's a good thing. If that's what you need to feel balanced. But I feel like with a lot of purity coming from the church, like purity culture, and there's so much, like we said, stigma with like feeling right and wrong, or like, if I do something gay, I've always had these gay thoughts, but gay actions might put me in and my soul in jeopardy. You have to remember that all of these thoughts are not organic to you. These are things that have been put on you.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to always kind of remind yourself of that. Like, I'm sticking to this horse and this carriage, but it's a horse and carriage that I created based on beliefs.
Right.
So I can also choose to believe that I don't need that horse and carriage anymore right now and get off of it. And then if you want to get back on it and keep going west, young man, you can do that.
That is so wise. That is so wise. That's from the church. We're both from the church.
Yeah.
And
it's
I
giving
agree.
deaconess.
But it's true.
We're having a deaconess meeting, darling.
Yeah. Don't really, really, really don't get caught up in having to.
Because that anxiety will eat you alive.
You're allowed to change your mind every day. No, whether it's this, whether it's where you live, whether it's what you have allegiance to, you're allowed to change your mind every single day.
That's the beauty of being human and having free will.
Know that, very virgin. Know that. Really, I think we both mean that when we say that. Thank you for being here.
Anytime. Thank you for having me.
So fast. It blows by so fast.
I can't wait for me and my daughter and Sasha will all be watching this because we send notes back and forth when you do your episodes.
Aww.
And I'd be like, she ate that. Yes.
I like that. Thank you.
I love you.
Where can people find you on social media?
Ooh, okay. So pretty much everywhere. Google, Vogue, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Just go with Kerri Colby. It's KerriColby. People love to spell my name with a Y, Kerry, and I'm like, never.
Right.
I'm not that girl. But that's where I am pretty much everywhere. You can put a "the" in front of it, and you can look for me doing some fabulous drag, parading around, walking a runway, or DJing a fabulous party near you.
I love it. Today on Very Delta, we learned that it's not where you start, it's getting started on the right foot. We'll see you next week, and until then, keep things very Delta. Yay! Very Delta is produced by Moguls of Media, aka Mom. Hosted by Delta Work. Produced and edited by Doug Robertson. Technical direction by Danielle Mitchell. With original theme music by Will Pitts. Media and design support by Stone Cold. And set design by Eris Sevilla. Executive produced by Alaska, Willem, Big Dipper, Camille Stennis, and Joe Cilio. Recorded at Forever Dog Productions.
Is it giving?
Is it giving what it was supposed to have been given?
I'm obsessed with Ebony Lane. She is my newest obsession. Is it giving daughter? Is it sickening daughter?
Mom!
Watch Very Delta uncensored, ad-free, and a day early by subscribing to Mom Plus Gold. Sign up today at mompodcast.plus for premium content, including weekly episodes of More Very Delta.